Hey besties, let's throw some shade, honey. You ready to get into it? Now, I'm going to tell you, besties, I am not a reunion girl. I find them boring. If you're not coming with receipts to shut somebody down, to just put the period on the end of the sentence, I'm not really interested. They can be quite boring. I don't like the back and forth and the cat fighting and talking over Andy, and he has to scream and holler to get you to be quiet, and he looked like he about to bust a vessel, a vein in his forehead. But that wasn't this. But these are the things that why I don't like reunions. This one was quite boring, and actually, the season was great. The season was good because I got through it. I couldn't get through season one, as you know, and this reunion was just quite. It wasn't giving at all. I don't even think they needed one. Okay, so the ladies were wearing red, right? Why was Ayan's eyes like red or yellow? Like they weren't white. What is up? Is she allergic to her own beauty brand? Oh, that was just like kind of scary. And along with her red hair, with the thingies, with the fan hat thing on, with the flowers, it was just woo. Okay, but baby Brooks was giving face card. Oh, she looked great. Those high cheekbones. Yes, Brooke, she stood out to me. Everybody looked good. Some people just looked plain, but Brooks brought it for me. Um, so we find out that Brooks is a gold digger. She, let's say, dates men for money. And one called while they did a flashback. They were in the car when they was headed to somewhere in Bali. He called. They said, "Oh, he's ugly. He looks like Shrek." And I'm sitting here like, well, what if Shrek is watching the show and sees that you don't think he's cute, and you talking about you wasn't doing nothing with him and all that? You may have just ended that little situation, huh? I mean, hello. So there we go. Okay, let's get into it. Hey, besties. Welcome back to Behind the Shade. Let's throw some shade. I don't know if we got any shade to throw, but we're going to find some. This is the reunion, part one of Love. Uh, Real Housewives of Dubai. Season two is episode 14. Again, reunion, part one. We do not need a part two. Um, how did you rate this episode? It wasn't giving. It was not giving. Go ahead and press the like button on the video and let's get started. So the ladies are all wearing red, and so someone asked Andy, "Is this going to be a bloodbath?" And he said, "No, it's going to be a love fest." And so we learned that Stanberry has had a facelift. She mentioned that she has been getting fillers and Botox since she was 26 years old, and she was starting to look like a white woman who gets fillers and Botox. So she decided to opt for a facelift. And the ladies really liked it. They said she looks fresh and young. She says she's 48. So it's been 22 years of getting stuff done to your face. Be careful with that, Stanberry. Anyway, okay, so let's get into it. This is about the only thing I think was necessary for this reunion, was to discuss Ayan and Lisa's friendship. And what else? Maybe Talene and Brooks' friendship. Maybe that. And what else? Nothing. Okay, so Ayan and Lisa, they're still not talking. They both agree that this is a sad situation that they're in. Ayan says she misses Lisa's kids because she picks them up from school and she misses going on vacationing with their families. And child, even the husbands don't even talk that much. And it's bad when the husbands can't even communicate excuse me, can't even communicate because they don't want to listen, hear your mouth, you know? So Andy was like, so will we try to get in a better place by the end of the reunion? And they both said yes. Huh. So they talk about Stanberry and Ayan's odd friendship compared to how they were last year. And you guys know I did not watch season one. I couldn't get into it at all. So I gotta go with the facts. So according to everyone, last season they could not stand each other. And so coming back from the reunion last season, they were stuck with each other on the plane ride for 16 hours. So within that time, they decided to share drinks and talk. And so, the question was, what do you like about each other? What do you have in common? So Ayana's like, she's funny. I like her because she's straightforward with me. Stanberry says the same. She said, we're both empty nesters now, and they have odd similarities with, growing up, and they can laugh about it. Stanberry says she understands Ayan much better now. She knows where she coming from. She understands her. So the question is, well, who's bothered by your friendship? And Talene says Lisa. And so they say Brooks enjoys seeing the demise of Lisa and Ayan's friendship. Brooks says, I don't care. I don't even care. Who cares? I don't care. She don't care about it. She said she did get a kick out of it at first, but then when she saw how it bothered Ayan emotionally, she tried to bring them back together. Now, you guys, was that off camera? Because what episode was that where we saw Brooks trying to bring Ayan and Lisa back together? Besties, do you know? Do you have a record of that? Because I'm trying to figure out. I was like, wait, what? Yeah, I don't think so. Maybe it was off camera or it didn't happen at all. So Lisa says she has no issue with Stanberry and Ayan becoming friends. Child, and Ayan laughed. She was like, yeah, right. And I'm like, exactly. You just said it about 2 or 3 episodes ago that you're jealous. You said that out of your mouth. And Ayan said, finally. Like you finally said something. So Lisa says, well, when Ayan was hanging out with Stanberry, she would text her and complain about how she was just so threatened, by Stanberry. And so, Ayana's like, what? What do you mean? No, don't lie on me. You know that's not true. So Lisa shows proof of Ayan saying she's trying to find something in common with Stanberry. And her text says, I grew up in a village and she grew up in a mansion. And so Ayana's like, stop trying to use that against me. That was before we got cool or whatever. So here go Lisa. She was like, oh, here come Ayan, the professional victim. And she kept saying it. And so, she was like, oh, not the villain playing victim. Hold on, guys. Had to get some water. So Ayan says that this is the worst thing you can call her is a victim. And so they move on. Andy is like, okay, let's bring up Taj. And I think that question was brought up just to calm things down because Ayan can blow up. And she actually does later. So we learn that her son, Ayan's son Taj, has still been pursuing his modeling career and he's doing good. And we already know he walked for Burberry because you remember when Ayan said Burberry. Did you hear me? Burberry. And he's done Fendi and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So then Ayan's age comes up. And so the question, Andy asked Ayan, like, how old do you think you are? And she says she thinks she's over 50 because her bones are weak. It's like, you don't have to be over 50 to have weak bones, girl. So then Andy asked the ladies, like, how old does she look? Or how old do you think she is? Child, Lisa gonna say, she looks her age. The shade. Lisa, oh my gosh, she goes for the jug. The shade, Lisa. So Brooks is over there cracking up. She cannot take it. And I was just doing what Brooks was doing, like, no, she did not say that. So Sarah says, oh, she looks like she's in her late 20s. And then Talena's like, oh, I'm going to give her late 30s. Like, okay. And so that was that. So then they go to when Brooks was giving credit at Ayan's event to Tony Malt. So Brooks is like, oh, I love Tony. I just love her. I've been a fan of hers, blah, 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 blah. And so she said, it was funny shade. It was funny shade. So Talene says, well, you were discrediting Ayan. And Brooks says, shut up. I'm not talking to you. Shut up. I was like, oh boy. oh boy. Talene, you better shut up, girl. Woo. So moving on. So Andy brought up the Ayan's FGM experience. And so Ayan tells us, she went into a deep depression, after Sarah did that interview and told her she acts like a victim. And she's crying and she regretted it. And she regretted, telling Sarah. And she said everyone was joking about her. And even her son's school, they was joking with him and asking him questions about it at school. And she said people would ask her about this every day. And so she tried to tie the victim into the situation with Lisa, but Lisa said, no, no, that's not our situation. She said, in our situation, you do play victim, but I'm not talking about that FGM. We're talking about two different things here, sir, ma'am, sir. Don't get it twisted, okay? We're talking about me and you, not your FGM. Then Ayan jabs Lisa and says, no, because Talene asked Lisa, are you about to cry? And so Lisa was like, no, are you? And so then Ayan gonna throw a jab out and say, crying is a side effect of taking Ozempic. What? Girl, if you don't stop, oh my God, can y'all supposed to be working towards getting back cool. I don't think it's gonna happen. So Lisa said, what are you talking about? You introduced Ozempic to me because you were on it. Then Ayan loses her mind and she just starts this hollering and screaming. And I'm like, Ayan, girl, you need to go pop a pill quickly. Why are you screaming like that? I'm surprised Andy didn't say anything like, oh my God, my ear, because he's sitting right next to her. So Andy asked, so wait a minute, you guys, we're going to be fighting over Ozempic now? And Ayan was like, yes. Like, goodness, girls. So then Brooks whispers to Lisa saying, oh, Ayan's insecurities are showing out because she's doing the most. And I haven't heard that slang in a minute. You was doing the most. I said, okay, Brooks, bring it on back, girl. So Ayan was doing the most. And Ayan is demanding water at this point. I need water because I'm dehydrated. Child Brooks will say, we can tell. I'm like, if you hollering and screaming, of course you're dehydrated. Your eyes, the white of your eyes are yellow or red. Something is going on. Ma'am, you need a pill with that water. You need a pill. Xanax, maybe. You need a pill with that water. You are dehydrated and going crazy. Oh, child. Then here we go. We got to talk about Talene's vajayjay gate. It's the Talene vajayjay gate. They bring it up. We got to talk about this one more time. So Brooks seems more offended than Talene was about the comment that Stanberry made. And the comment was Sergio saw her vajayjay because she was drunk and they was at the Beyonce concert and he saw her stuff. So Stanberry said, I just said it one time. And Brooks is the one who just ran with it and told everybody about it and just kept telling everybody. So Stanberry tells Brooks, if you were so angry about this situation, you should have called me. And Brooks said, true, you're right. True, I should have. But she went she went hard on Stanberry instead. And she said, "Oh, it was because Talene had called her. She was crying, and she fell to the ground, and she was just so." And Talene was like, "I fell to the ground, really?" And then Sarah was like, "Well, she cried, but she didn't fall to the ground." And then it's like, and then Brooks is like, and now she's making up with Stanberry. So explain it to her because she don't get it. So Brooks is like, so then they get on Brooks and her drinking. So they're like, okay, Brooks, do you have a drinking problem, honey? And so, she was off the hook the first part of the season. One of the viewers, that was a question for Brooks. So I think Lisa said, well, Brooks is a lightweight. After one drink, she's good. And so, okay, well, Brooks, if you're a lightweight, you should know you're a lightweight, right? And stop at one drink, huh? And so Sarah said she even told her once, like, girl, you look terrible on camera after you have, when you on your second or third drink, like, cool it because you look terrible, right? And even production told her, one drink only, ma'am. They was like, we are not gonna be holding you up, pulling you. You're gonna be here fighting. She must be like an angry drunk. We was like, man, we're not gonna have you out here fighting. Dubai is conservative. They don't play those games. You're gonna end up in prison, fooling around in these Dubai streets. Okay, one and done, Brooks. One and done. So then they talk about Brooks, how she did not continue her sessions with the healer. Well, Stanberry told her that they don't like her, the new her. Like, stop doing that. So they was making fun. It was a back and forth because Brooks went and got her refund back. And the girls were like, that's the first time that has ever happened. Well, why was she not going to get her money back? She's not coming back. One and done. Why does she need to keep her money tied up over there? She owns a salon. She has a business to run. She needs every dollar. Okay. So then they addressed this rumor, the rumor about Mike, how he was getting drunk out, talking about Stanberry, how he pays for Stanberry's bills, her maid, her clothes, her mortgage, blah, 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 blah. So Ayan explains that she was out and he was with they were out with friends. And Mike was saying how he was just so sick of Sergio. And then how Sergio and Stanberry argue so much in his house and how he just pays all of her bills. So Stanberry was like, well, I overstayed my visit. She was only supposed to be there like 3 months, I think. And I can't remember how long she ended up staying. Was it 6 months? But Mike told Stanberry it was a poor joke. It's just that she overstayed her welcome. And he's so glad that she's out. So she said, and no one pays for my life, not even she didn't say this, but I'm adding, and not even my husband. So my nosy self went onto the Google, and I Googled Sergio, and it says he's worth 1 million to 30 million. I have never seen that before. So I interpreted that as Sergio is worth 1 million and Stanberry is worth 30 million. And she says no one pays for her life. Stanberry is she's the richest housewife of Dubai, probably in the whole series. So one of the questions was, how do you get your money, Stanberry? So she said, I've had a business my whole life, and now I run multiple businesses. And she got a big settlement from her ex-husband. Gone, girl. And you see what she did right there. She went ahead, moved to Dubai, built her a house, found her a little boy to marry, and she's fine. She's doing good. So then Talene alludes that Brooke dates wealthy men, and Brooks denied it. She says boyfriend. She was like, no, one. I date one. I'm not dating men. And if she is, dating multiples for money and gold digging, that's her business. Okay. So the fans love Talene, honey. They love her. I like her. She's okay, but she do insert herself too much. So they said, oh, you came in this season, you came in like a seasoned housewife, like you just knew what to do and everything. Like, have you been coached? And so she was like, Brooks told me to come in blazing. And baby, you have. Oh, Talene, you won't be quiet. Any chance you get, that mouth is open. Talene can almost take over this franchise, in my little humble opinion. And so, she referred to how Ayan calls her the Hadida bird and all that. So Brooks, so they asked Brooks, did you expect Talene to just blindly follow you after she challenged you and then you told her you were done with her? And Brooks said, I expected some loyalty from, Talene is her friend. They've been friends with 9 years. So Brooks called Talene a beggar, because she so-called begged Brooks to be on the show. And so they said how she went to the press and she said that Talene has asked her 105 times. Not 105 times. You sure, Brooks, it wasn't 107 or 102? Have you been counting? But she said Talene has asked her 105 times to be on the show. And Andy was like, well, that's not a crime. Being a friend helps you get to become a cast member. A viewer feels like Talene used Brooks to get on the show. Talene says, no, Brooke had a motive to get me on the show because Stanberry had 3 people moving forward to maybe, to get cast. And so she was like, no, she's using me to keep Stanberry's from her friends joining the cast. And then I was like, because remember, I think I said last week how I get the issue with Stanberry. It's like everybody on the show has a friend. Saba, Sarah has Saba, Ayan and Lisa, Talene and Brooks. And Stanberry had nobody. So maybe is that why Stanberry is kind of interfering and kind of breaking up these friendships, because she's mad at y'all for not putting her friend on the show. Oh, there might be something to that. Besties, what do you think? Do you think Stanberry is doing all this, causing all this rift for a reason because she's mad because none of her friends got put on the show? That could be possible, honey. People are vindictive, I think it is. I believe it. So the viewers are accusing Talene of flip-flopping on Brooks and choosing, Stan over her. And so she said, well, no, I had an issue with Brooks behind the scene and I needed to say it. Are you sure, Talene? Because you always have a need to say it. That is it. You're going to always say it, honey. So then they talk about Brooks, how she came to Stanberry's housewarming with that burning sage and the uninvited guest. Stan says it was a setup. Brooks says she was just being shady. Oh my God, Brooks, you do that well. You do that well, ma'am. You are the master. Yes, ma'am. You get the crown. You are Shady Boots, honey. So they said Brooks came to start the fight. Brooks said, well, I was riled out. I was riled up, a little rah-rah, I came to, yes, I was rah-rah, yes. Yeah, Brooks, you was doing that a lot at the beginning of the season, honey. So Talene, they said, why did you say, where's your husband? Now, this is a good question. This was a good question to point out for a reunion. So here go Talene. I was being poked a lot at dinner. She just kept poking me. But, after, I said it, I did apologize and I took accountability. Yeah, because Rafi told you to. That's his homegirl. So Sarah told her, yeah, that's why you lost me as a fan. Nobody care. Okay, Sarah. Thanks. So Stanberry was asked, like, what does she think about Rafi getting involved in their little back and forth? And because they've been friends so long, Rafi and Brooks has been friends. She knew Rafi before she knew Talene. And so Stanberry was like, she couldn't believe that Rafi waited so long to butt in. Like, he was sitting there being quiet. He was allowing the women to do their thing. But, you know, it comes to a point to where he got to defend his wife, right? And so Stanberry was like, I just can't believe he waited till the end of it to get involved, and says he had every right to clap back at Brooke. Ooh, Brooks, I'm sorry. Ooh. Now, I was agreeing with that at some point, because at some point, you got to step in. You just can't let your wife, what you going to do, sit there and watch Brooks beat her up? Because you know that was coming. So Lisa says, wait, he has a right to shout at her? Girl, be quiet. And then like Andy said, I get the man-female thing, like a man and a woman shouldn't be arguing. He said he gets that. So Lisa and Talene, now they have a back and forth and back, but not really. Just a back and forth, just one. Talene tells Lisa she even admitted that she didn't even see it all. You know, so Talena's telling Lisa, you know, you inserted yourself. Girl, you are the inserter. But hey, she knows because that's what she is. So Lisa's like, no, it was 2-on-1, and that was not going down on her watch. Okay. And so Lisa said that was really aggressive. And so they asked, like, so being buddies, Rafi and Brooks, like, have y'all fought like this before? And so Brooks was like, no. And so here go Talene, no, wait, after my party, off camera, you and Rafi were getting into it. And so Brooks said, no, hon, that was me and you. I was arguing with you. And so Talene's like, no, because you was all up in his face. He was spitting in his face. And then Brooks was like, this woman is a liar. You are a liar. And Talene, you're a liar. And child, that was the end of the reunion, part 1. Now, baby, I don't know exactly what part 2 is going to bring us. I think I saw the previews. I wasn't even moved, but something gonna happen, and this could really have been wrapped up as a part 1. But besties, let me know what your comments are. Let me know what you rate the reunion. I rated, I'm gonna give it a 6 because I watched it, but it was just. But I'm not a reunion girl. I'm not into it unless you just come in with receipts and somebody else shows up with receipts, and it just, you know, but this was just like, it wasn't necessary. They didn't even need a reunion. Okay, besties, that's all I have. That's that on that. I will see you in the next video. Bye, besties.